Hello, Professor.
Hello.
How are you, Professor?
How are you? Fine. And you? How are you?
I'm good, sir. I was just about to ask you, how do you pronounce your name? Because it is too confusing. It is Jose?
How do you pronounce my name? Jose.
Jose?
Jo.
Jose. From the epiglottis.
Jose. Yeah, I know. It's Jose.
Okay.
Sorry, for the lights is not very good here in this office.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Completely okay, sir. You are looking very
It's,
smart.
you know, it's 5 o'clock in the morning here.
Yeah, I know. I just checked that time that it is too early. I thought, how will you manage?
Yeah, it is quite early in the morning.
Yeah.
So how are you? How you pronounce your name?
Generally, we in India pronounce J as Jo. So it is Jose. I was just expecting it is Jose, but I just checked the pronunciation in Mexican thing. So I came to know about that. It is Jose.
Like San
Jose.
Jose, California.
Okay.
Like San Jose, California, you know,
Yeah,
Jose.
Jose.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we will start in 5 minutes, sir.
Great. That's okay. I sent the photos you asked me, and I just got up and
I got
saw
your
your
Facebook account.
message.
I got your
Oh,
Facebook account
photos.
and I got it from there. I sent you
said,
friend
what I'm going to
request.
do, it's not good, the lights. Apologies. Yeah. So I was in a hurry to look for some photos to send you because I didn't have available most of them, but fortunately I sent.
So I got it from Facebook. I just checked your Facebook account and I got it from there.
Yeah. Let me tell you, when I went to Chennai last year. Yeah, I was in Chennai, in your country, in India, last year. And I have been in New Delhi also, in all that part. Start from Indore.
Yeah.
Indore.
Every day you wake up so early?
Sorry?
Every day you wake up so early?
Yes, I had to.
Okay.
To do it early, you know. Yeah, but it's fine. It's okay. Hello, how are you? Dr.
Very good morning.
Kumar.
Very good morning. Very good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So how are you?
Good afternoon. Fine. And you?
I am better. Doing great.
Great.
Thanks for joining us and in so early morning. And I know it is very, it's so tough to awake in morning time.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Usually I start working at home at this time. Then I go later. Around 9 o'clock, I go to work to the university. So it's okay for me. But before this time, before 5 o'clock in the morning, it's not easy to get up.
Yeah.
But usually I start at 5 o'clock, so it's okay for me.
Even 5 o'clock is too early, sir.
Yeah. I don't know, the lights are not, these lights, I don't like it. It's quite dark.
You can face towards light.
I didn't face it. For sorry. Okay. Yes. So it's almost.
See, our audio is not clear.
Yeah.
Please pardon me if I pronounce your name wrongly. So,
No, it's okay. No, it's Jose.
Jose, I will
Jose,
try my
yes,
level
like
best.
San Jose, California.
Yeah,
You know San Jose, California?
yeah,
Yeah, it's the same pronunciation. Jose, which
Jose.
in
Dr.
English,
Jose
Jose.
G.Vargas. Yeah.
Jose, yes. Jose.
Fine. So, a very good afternoon to everyone and good morning to Jose sir. And I welcome all the participants to the international webinar series #Modern Talks. And today we all have with us Dr. Jose from University of, he's a research professor and member of the National System of Research, Mexico. We also have with us Dr. Puneet Kumar Dwivedi with us, Group Director, Modern Group of Institution, Indore. And the topic of today's national webinar series is work culture in changing time. So we all are getting enlightened by the special invitee and special speaker of us, that is Dr. Jose with us, and he is going to speak about the changing work culture in changing time. So before moving further, I would like to give a brief introduction about our organization. For that, I need to share the screen. I hope my screen is visible to you.
Modern Group of Institute is a premier group of institute in Indore affiliated to
RGPV Bhopal and DAVV Indore and CBSE New Delhi and approved by AICT New Delhi, NCT and PCI New Delhi. Modern Group is imparting quality education in the field of pharmacy, management, commerce and education. We offer more than 8 courses in these fields, which includes B Pharma, M Pharma, D Pharma, BBA, BCom and B.Ed. We also have Modern Group encompasses 2 leading industries, Modern Lab and Nandini Medical Laboratories Private Limited. Modern Laboratories was established in 1979 by late Shri P.C. Karyadi and Nandini Medical Laboratories was established in 1998. Both gained prestigious acclamation in All India rating of pharma industry. We also have Modern International School established in 2013. We believe in innovation and entrepreneurship, and hence we introduced India's first pharma incubation center, Modern Incubation Center, in the year 2019, sponsored by MSME. Recently, we have received World Book of Record UK and World Record Academy USA for making largest human image of medication capsule. Also, we are recognizing participating institute of Unnat Bharat Abhiyan in association with IIT Delhi and MHRD Government of India. The institute also have Institute Innovation Council, which is an Institute Innovation Cell by MHRD Innovation Cell. So this was a brief introduction about the organization. Now I would like Dr. Puneet Kumar Dwivedi, Group Director, Modern Group of Institution, to welcome our guest.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It is a matter of pride for us to have Dr. Jose Vargas with us in today's international webinar, which is on work culture in changing time. Really, in this post-COVID time and in this COVID time, we are facing, and so many organizations are facing many problems. Even employees are facing many problems. So here, in today's deliberation, we will listen such an eminent personality, Dr. Jose from Mexico, and we will be benefited I think all the participants who are going to witness this program today are going to enlighten themselves, and we are very much fortunate to have, and I am very much thankful to Dr. Jose for accepting our invitation to join us as an eminent speaker. So again, on behalf of Modern Group of Institutions, on behalf of our chairman, Sri Anil Kharia, and vice chairman, Sri Shantanu Kharia, I, Dr. Puneet Kumar Dwivedi, Group Director, Modern Group of Institutions, welcoming Dr. Jose in our Modern Talk International Webinar Series. Thank you, sir. Thanks for joining. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. That is so kind of you. Right now we have 114 participants with us, and it is just increasing. It is 117, 118. So it is increasing very quickly. And before moving further, I would like to give a brief introduction about our guest. For that, I need to share the screen. I think it is visible.
Yes.
Dr. Jose is a research professor at the University Center of Economics and Administrative Science of the University of uh, Guadalajara, members of National System of Researcher level, and visiting scholar to Laurentian University, Sudbury, Ontario, Canada, University of California, Berkeley, and Carleton University, Ottawa, Canada. Professor of the Doctorate in Administrative and Organization Sciences, La Salle University. Professor of the Doctorate of the Autonomous University of Durango, Academic Advisor of the Doctorate in Administration of Autonomous University of Ogunsikliente, Doctorate of Public Administration, Columbia University, Doctor of Economics, Keele University, England, other doctorate study in organizational behavior, Lancaster University, Master in Business Administration with a specially in Industrial Management, Pacific State University, Marketing Certificate in the British Institute of Marketing Diploma in Philosophy, Bachelor in Commercial Relations, National Polytechnic Institute, intern of the Law degree, UNAM. He has done many research projects and contact at BMFBF, Germany, Business Bioeconomics in Urban Areas, CUCA, UDG, and uh, Germany, and VCT, European Union Research Project, Reviving Shrinking Cities, Innovative Path and Perspective Toward Liability for Shrinking Cities in Europe. He has received many awards. He has many awards in his account. He has got Best Instructor Award, Ex-Cultured University of North Carolina at Greensboro, United States, Octavo L. Prix Duo Millier, Article University of Paris, Descartes, June 2016, Certificate in Appreciation of High Academics Achievement and Performance, University of Zurich, ETH Zurich in June 2016, Outstanding Research Award in the Institute, Outstanding Outstanding Research Award, the Institute for Business and Financial Research, Hawaii 2016, Outstanding International Research 2015, Peer Hong Kong Best Research Paper Award, ABSRC 2015, Italia Best Paper Certificate 2015, PGPRC, to name a few. And he has received many awards and recognitions too. On behalf of entire Modern Group of Institution, we welcome you, sir, to the international webinar series #Modern Talk. Now, I hope you like the slide which we have presented. And now I would like to start your introductory talk on the changing world culture.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Very nice introduction. I genuinely appreciate it. Thank you also to the Modern Group of Institutions for inviting me to share with you some experience. This talk is based mostly on in our experience that we are having here at the University of Guadalajara in Mexico, as a researcher, after all this, let me see, why is, oh, apologies, says that why is the function it's not working?
You want to share your screen, sir?
No, it's not. Can you, do you have my presentation there? It
Yeah, I
says that.
have your presentation. You can also share the screen now.
Yeah, I tried to share it, but
You can share it now.
let me see. Probably it's this. You can see it right now?
Not yet. Yes.
Okay, great. Apologies. Things of this technology, that's the problem exactly that I want to show you how at this changing times, we are also going into some personal changes. So that's exactly what I want to show you. So the topic is work culture and changing with the times. And I said this mostly as an experience that we have had here in University of Guadalajara in this difficult period of time. Huh. Yeah, so today is a good day to start, of course, like any other day. And here is a good thought to start. The organization of the future may not be a permanent corporations, but rather an elastic nets. This is, of course, a thought from Malone and Laubache. Work. What is work? Well, let's start thinking a little bit that work is the core of life. It's very central to our lives. Work gives us status and bind us to the society. Work provides fellowship and social life, but also work is an instrument or satisfying our ego. I'm not sure about if this is also valid for you in the Eastern countries, but here for us in the Western countries, yes, work is an instrument of satisfying our ego. Not only give us status, but also we are proud to say, oh, I work for the university, for example. Work by itself is a reward. Work and workplace constitute significant part of the individual self-identity. Let's say we always are proud, said, well, I work for the University of Guadalajara in Mexico, you know, and we always are proud, feeling proud of where we are working. Finally, there are some changes phases of work, as we can see. For example, if we go back in time, the Bible considered work as a punishment of man's sins. And this is ugly. You know, we said that MacGregor founded his X theory about the motivation on this biblical concept. It's quite interesting. I don't have time to explain it, but it's quite interesting how it's considered, work is considered as a punishment for man's sins. The French, the Greek, the Roman despised those who worked, while glorify those who engaged in spiritual activities. That's another perspective, of course. And Bhagavad Gita views work as a duty without any concern for the outcome. Finally, it came to be seen as the justification for man's existence. Of course, we know that's quite important it is. Sorry, I have, let me see why. Okay, so the next topic is about the work ethos. The work ethos consists of a set of attitudes and value system appropriate for achieving the goals of the organization. Of course, this is mediated by the national cultures, as we know. We cannot generalize because the national cultures change not only the motivations, but also the perspectives and the achievements of work. Individual interacts with the organization environment, the structured groups, the informal groups, and thereby creates organizational culture. Yes, of course. It's we know, like for example, countries that are more collectively oriented, like in our case, we have different attitudes, different ethos, that very individualistic cultures. So individual behavior is affected by the culture, which affects definitely climate of the organizations. Oh, I hear. I got the permission to put this. I have an ethical question about telecommuting, Dogbert. Do I owe my employer 8 productive hours, or do I only need to match the 2 productive hours I will have in the office? Could you say interesting? Well, when you're factoring how you're saving the planet by not driving, you only of 1 hour. And this meeting counts, of course, you know. This is a good way to understand how we always have to transport to our work, and then at work, how much time really is a very productive work. So this is questioning how much we need to work in telecommuting, you know, now. Yeah, I brought this just because it was very funny to put it at this moment. Work culture relates to the perceptions, feelings, and behavior of people. Culture is the mind-made part of the environment. It results in common pattern in people's behavior. And then cultural organization can be assessed in 3 counts: task goals, people, and processes. Well, I got this. I'm not sure if this is true or not, but this is a perceptionalist. The Indian work culture is deeply affected, you know, by the British cultural work. Probably it was before, not now exactly, but anyway, at least it has had some impact from the British culture. I'm not sure, I probably may be wrong, but at least I have that perception, because I have seen different behaviors, different attitudes, different ethos in different workplaces in your country and in my country, for example. So a positive work culture promotes high moral, peak performance, and high productivity. And to bring about change of work culture, managers must introspect, create, and communicate the visions, elicit the desired response, and empower people, which is quite important with any work. We need to change that culture of dominance to a more empowered culture. So let's think about in this concept of how revitalizing people at the organizations, you know. Revitalizing people entails a change of attitude, of course, and a mindset change, but that's exactly what I said right now in my position. But can we teach all Hayes new tricks? This is quite interesting. There is something fundamentally different about people. Call it emotion, call it a soul, trust and commitment prove difficult for competition to imitate. Our cultures, different culture works sometimes are, in some workplaces are more collaborative, while others are more competitive. Even organizational cultures promotes the competitiveness, the internal competition at work. In other organizational cultures, they promote collaboration. At the heart of the human side of organization are people with a soul, feelings, and emotions. Let's consider always this point of view, what is exactly at the heart of the human being. Overall, the point is simple. If you wish to see initiative, collaboration, commitment, and learning, the challenge is to change, create the right smell of the place, culture, course. And there are a lot of studies going on right now on this changing times. Like, for example, I found this project, the yin yang of telecommunicating, and enable productive flexi working, for example. This is another project which is also going on, so the flexi. But let's think what's going on with this digital economy, which has been a solution right now to some of the problems we are facing in the working places, for example. So we can see here, there are some drivers and approaches going on based on IT, on human resources, and also on property. In one side of the most oriented towards IT is self-productivity and the workforce retention, and human resources is more related with passive workplace optimization, and the property is the active working optimization, on the working place. So this is are some drivers or approaches, and let's think a little bit about this rapid technology change that now has come to save us a little bit of our problems we are facing in these pandemic times. For example, for radio, it took 38 years to reach 50 million users, while for Facebook, it only took 9 months. You can see for internet 4 years and for television 13 years. So you can see how rapidly the digital divide has come already. So technology trends impact the way we work. Devices, people, and also now we are working on the cloud. We are saying that we are working on the cloud. So, sorry, this is in Spanish. I didn't translate it. There are some consequences of the revolution. This revolution we are going. What's happening with the enterprises? But at the center of all is the technological change. And this technological change is changing also the business model. It's a change from the traditional process of working at the organizations to more oriented, for example, in the case of business, e-business, and virtual organizations, virtual enterprises. So we are really involved with. But one thing we are sure, nothing will come back to be like it was before. So let's think very seriously, you know, in a way to solve all these issues, how to get work. Let's say this thing. Although, for example, the pandemic is spreading very fast, late, of course, than other countries, but very fast right now in Mexico, our university has been closed. We only can go for a few hours every day if we need to go, but we are not allowed to go. Since I am close to the university, it's only 1 kilometer, I can walk, I can walk down the street and enter on campus and work a little bit and come back. But let me tell you, the campus is already empty. Nobody is there. You know, we are teaching our students by virtually, by digital, in a digital campus. Fortunately, the University of Guadalajara has made some advancements in the virtual campus, and now it's a little bit easier for us. However, it has changed our life from one day to another day suddenly, and we are thinking, let's see how can we solve this kind of problems. So the telework is only one solution, at least the most immediate solution we have. And you can see there are a lot of research going on around the world, studies that have been already conducted in this area. Because we are very concerned about this, you know. You can see here how a session could be. It's quite interesting. Well, this is just to I put it because it's very significant of how the cost of business, the cost of organization is growing right now, you know. Besides that, besides the problems of the pandemic, we have another growing problems going on. Like, for example, you know, we know that the gas emissions, the climate changes, all things, of course, are disturbing our quality of lives. And we know that 50% of the workforce could work from home. And 67 of those will do that. Out of the 50, 67 will do that. You know, the average commute time is 45 minutes. Not for me, because it takes me 12 minutes. But I know in a city like Guadalajara, the metropolitan area of Guadalajara is around 6 million people, and sometimes it can be very messy to reach, you know, to university. And so now there is not too much traffic, and if for some of my colleagues who need to come to the university, it will take less time. However, we know that this is really a problem, you know. The cost of congestion or traffic jam is going up and up. So here we have the new perspective, the bioeconomics, bioeconomy. By the way, we are working already right now as a researcher, and this is one of my projects actually, working on devising some solutions. We got some funding from the European Union, and we're working with some European universities on Mexican and German cities and how to introduce some changes in bioeconomics. And just exactly, we have been working for the last 2 years in this research project, and we came really at this time, you know, when we are thinking in how to change a little bit our cities. Exactly. So, but let's go back to telework as an alternative fields. I don't know in your country, but one month ago, it was very cheap, the gas or petrol or gasoline here. But yesterday that I went to this week and I needed to go out to a city because I was invited to give a talk. And I realized that the gas has gone up suddenly after Europe has come to, you know, has resumed activities in United States and some other countries. Immediately, gasoline has gone up. You can see uh, how small is the world, how an event that is occurring in the United States, well, they are our neighbors, of course, and we just signed the continuation of the NAFTA, which is called now TMEC, an agreement with North America and with United States and Canada, but immediately the price of the gas went up, increased a lot. So this is the telework really is an alternative way, you know, to save barrels of oil, but at least also to produce a biomass, liquid biofuels, and so forth. For example, one of the colleagues that are working in this project that I told you, they have already working in bioethanol, which could be a solution. Let's see San Diego, which is just next, is next to our border. San Diego, California, during this time had 16% fewer cars in the highways, which represented a reduction in congestion, of course, you know. And here there is some calculator. Well, this is, I tried to implement it, but it really doesn't work because our culture is quite different. But we can, of course, we can calculate, you know, the savings of the teleworking. So 35 million around the world, maybe right now, at least telecommuting, which is great for our planet, you know. And then let's review a little bit the ripple effects. Let's travel and the telecommuting, the video conference like we are doing, you know, remote training, webinars. We are in a webinar. So this is a webinar promoted by a modern group of institutions, which exactly is riding this wave of changes that are going around the world, which is good, you know. Less construction, less office equipment, toxic waste, less paper, and so forth and so forth. We have here some of the possible ripples. And then the management attitudes, you know, the security concerns, and also the costs, the cost of all this, let's say, changes and not changes. We can calculate also both things, and there are roadblocks for these changes. But there is a green light, you know, the business leadership and the political leadership, which relax zoning laws, avoid double taxation, health insurance, ubiquitous broadband, for example, which are in favor of these changes. And how we got here? Well, let's go back to what they had said before: the property, the human rights, and the information technology, and how the hot desking is creating the workplace optimization, and the flexi working, finally getting to the flexi working solutions. So we can be anywhere working, which is quite interesting. Actually, I was tempted to work from, because I was very close to the place where my father lives in the mountains in a ranch. I was very tempted to go there and to visit him and stay overnight, and said I could work, I could do something in this webinar from my home's father, which I said is far away, is in the mountains, in the hills. But and then I thought, well, maybe internet, the Wi-Fi signal is not very good, and I wouldn't have no problems. And I don't want, to not to fully display my presentation. So I thought very seriously to work there in anywhere. Of course, we need in my case, I needed the Wi-Fi signal. I had the instrument, the computer, I had this presentation, I was ready to do it, my motivation and so forth. But without the signal, it's anywhere working, it's still some utopia, at least in some countries like ours. Only in the places where really we can get the signal. There is a signal there, but sometimes it's very weak. And then, because it's the rainy times here, if it's raining, then it broke us down. So I think, no, I went away. Well, so technologies has transformed home-based telecommuters into anywhere, anytime, and teleworkers. I have been working when I was waiting, my flights at the airports and in other parts and so forth, where the signal is good. So this is possible, of course, I said it's possible when there is the signal. So you can see the difference working at home and telecommuting and going to our workplace. Well, I don't want to explain this, because these are also the benefits the anywhere working is. So we already know, because my presentation is quite long. So I instead of that, I will try to go forward. So there is a generational shift, of course. We can see it right now. A look of our shift workplace, and there's the millennial who are at the front of this shift. There are other great reasons that while we can stay at home, the continuity of operations, because the pandemic, the terrorism, the natural disasters, and so forth, so that cannot interrupt our operations at work. To expand our labor pool with part-timers, retirees, rural workers, disabled, caregivers, and so forth. Increase productivity. It has been already some studies conducted here in our environment that productivity can be increased from working at home. And also, I am a little bit concerned with this next topic about the improved work-life balance. I'm not sure if working at home, sometimes with the worries and the troubles of work, is very good for our home. It used to be our homes very sacred, not to talk too much about work, and dedicate us the time to quality time to our family. but now we need to working at home. Well, I'm not sure. And of course, slow brain drain, you know, and the generation Y motivator, as I said, they are more prone, more willing to work in this type. So you can see again how things are changing very fast. I want to put at the center of all this work culture or attitudes, which determines everything, you know, and this is a short story that I want to share with you. I got it from somebody else, but I like it because it teaches a lot. I will read it. A young lady was waiting her flight in the waiting room of a big airport. As she would wait for many hours, she decided to buy a book to spend her time. She also bought a packet of cookies. She sat down on an armchair in the VIP room of the airport to rest and read in peace. Beside the armchair, there was the packet of cookies. A man sat down, opened his magazine, and started reading also. When she got the first cookie, the man got one also. She felt herself infuriated, but didn't say anything. She just thought, what an nerve. If I was in the mood, I would punch his eye, not to forget this daring. To each cookie she got, the man got one either. That was letting her infuriated, but she couldn't react. When remained only one cookie, she thought, what this abused man will do now. Then the man divided the last cookie in the middle, giving her the half. That was too much. She was too much angry. Then she got her book, got her things, and headed in the boarding place. When she sat down in the armchair inside the plane, she looked into her purse to catch her eyeglasses. And to her surprise, her packet of cookies was there untouched, closed. She felt so much ashamed. She realized that she was the wrong one. She had forgotten that her cookies were kept in her purse. The man divided his cookies with her without feeling infuriated, nervous, or mad. While she was being very mad, thinking that he was dividing her cookies with him, but there was no more time to explain herself, nor to apologize. So there are 4 things that you cannot recover. The stone, after shot. The word, after pronounced. The occasion, after lost. The time, after it's gone. So this is at the center, really, of the work culture, the attitudes. What kind of attitudes we have in our workplaces, what kind of attitudes we have at home, also now that we are telecommuting in these changing times. So an end-to-end challenge will go very close with technology, with culture, and with process, as you can see. So work is something you do. not exactly a place you go, it's what you do. So here are some key technologies. Of course, connectivity for enablement, which I said is quite at the center of this possibility. This is one possibility. Of course, there are some kind of tasks that may not require, this connectivity enablement, but however, is required maybe another type of communication, and still telecommuting can be done, and also collaboration for productivity and effectiveness, which is also at the center of this. So thinking more seriously, is really teleworking one solution for this? At least it has been the solution right now, But we understand that teleworking is any form of service provision of a non-face-to-face nature, by virtue of which an official or employee can carry out part of his working day for using telematic means from his own home or another place enabled for this purpose, provided that the needs and nature of the service allow it, in the frame of the policy or the policy or reconciliation of personal, family, and work life. Well, this is at the center, reconciliation of personal, family, and the working life, which is, sorry, this is I forgot in Spanish and in Spanish, but it says before and now. Well, of course, before it was a very synchronic hours. We had to check the punch of card at the time of entrance, not exactly for researcher or teacher, but for clerical jobs, of course, you see. And now it has changed. You set your time schedules, your timetables and schedules. So you can see here all these differences that are working. Oh, this is also in Spanish. I didn't translate it because I couldn't get permit to do it. Apologies, but I will translate it you because it's quite interesting. And it's like a joke, but it's funny, very funny, because it happens, the first slide says, I want a job in which I can't telework every day. And he continues, it's important that to have a good salary and objectives that cannot be measured easily. And then the boss says, I see. You want to be at home and we can send you the check, the check, the payment. And he replied, no, thanks. I prefer a transference, a bank transference, which is very funny because it's also at the other extreme, and in fact, as you will see later, is one of the critiques that this form of telework has. So telework is any form of substitution of information technologies for work-related travel. A teleworker, anyone who works remotely, and a telecommuter is an office worker who periodically, 1 or more days per week, works remotely. And then as thoughts of Jack Niles, all telecommuters are teleworkers, but not vice versa. It's quite interesting. All telecommuters are teleworkers, but not all teleworkers are telecommuters. Telecommuter, an office worker who periodically, 1 or more days per week, works remotely, not always. So what is telework? Teleworking is definitely broadly as a working from anywhere in any time. In simple words, telecom is a method of doing work at home and works in a different place for reason for a usual workplace. Some other, but this is the idea of telecommuting. The idea of telecommuting started from the early 1970s. A scientist stuck in Los Angeles traffic seasoned that a good deal of time and stress could be saved by moving the work to the employee instead of always moving the employee to the work. However, these are some characteristics. I don't go through all of them. How much time I have? Sorry, apologies. How much time I have?
So you have 5 more minutes.
5 more minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, so I must go. I must escape to the last. This is an important point, you know, the telework philosophy, because it brings work to the worker, aiming to people who carry out tasks with computer and communication tools. And it makes it possible to work from anywhere and to any time. It's more important than the place where it is carried out, the result of work, which is quite important, the results of work. Well, I will skip. There are some benefits, of course, for employees and some advantages, of course, and some advantages for traveling and for employers. And what does the organization want from its people? Of course, collaborate, share, help each other, and so forth. And the manager also has some advantages of telecommuting. What are the great responsibilities that you know that come from this flexible way to work? The effects of telework in different stakeholders, and you know, the traffic reduction, family integration, better use of time, company result organization, space optimization, development and retention of human resources. Well, I'm a little bit concerned, as I said, with family integration. In fact, here in Mexico, unfortunately, family violence has increased. And this is very sadly, actually, you know. And I think that this is happening also in some other cultures, that instead of getting family integration, the family violence is increasing a lot, you know. Oh, well, this is other effects for teleworkings. This is one big problem. Like, for example, sometimes we do not want to work in isolation. Instead of that, we prefer to go to the place despite everything, you know. Instead of being like this, like we are now, the presence is quite important. I will stick a little bit on this. Some problems, security in transmissions, the out-of-date loop employees, difficult in development of professional career, because sometimes people say, no, they are not considering my career, you know, the frivolous image, the part-timers, not very serious, and the restriction of opportunities to development and training, and lower wages, the bonus restriction, excessive distractions at home, which is sometimes is quite right, you know. If my baby comes to see me, I sometimes I have to stop, I have to interrupt my work and things like that. And this is quite illustrative of some of the problems, you know, the children playing around, and you get also a sense of isolation in the home, and career stagnation, as I said. And there are also some working needs. It's not time to go to what is not. Let me jump to the last. To the last, just to collaboration, of course, is very critical, you know, to work at this time. But we need despite that we are only virtually connected, we need to work more, more collaborative ways. Well, there are some literature. So leadership is action, which is quite important to interest at the center of this, not exactly a position. So we need to work. Leadership is showing the way by one's own example, how to develop or better results, how to achieve, how to obtain the best outcomes of our work, If you lead the people with correctness who will dare not to be correct, you may be very familiar with this photograph, of course, but let's think, is telework for the future? Working from home has become already the new normal. And, we can see some of the problems, as I mentioned, the children at home, choose a job you have and you will never have to work a day in your life, which is a very good thought. And here are some tips that I've not had time to do it and how to get organized. I will go, let's have a cool workspace at home, schedule types, have a Google Calendar, and also consider our body and have also a break at home, for our coffees. You see here, the lady is already selling her coffee at home, at the right time. So let's think if this is the future of work. Let me jump to the last. Well, this is one of the last slides. So success is not achieved only by special qualities. It is above all work of perseverance, method, and organization. What I want to say is that our work culture, if we need these change times, is really not only to change of attitude, but it requires special qualities, perseverance, method, and organizations, and we can see the organizations that have already implemented some successful programs of this type. A positive attitude and personal motivation, coming back to our attitude, allow us to remain excited about what we are doing, no matter how difficult the challenge may be one day to day. And that's all. I think that we have finished already. So I'm available for any questions you may have on this presentation. Sorry, I have to jump into the last slides, but I hope I could explain a little bit what is exactly going on, what is happening in this changing over attitudes toward the workplaces and the work, which is very essential in our lives. So if you have any questions, I will be very glad to contribute to.
Yes, sir, we have, I think I have also prepared some questions, and our participants also have a few questions. So whatever you say, I will start with the participant side. Say, Premlal Jagati, they want to know what is the unemployment situation in Mexico City currently.
Repeat, please. Repeat the question, please.
What is the unemployment situation in Mexico City currently?
Oh, it's increasing very, very fast. Unbelievable. This is because for the last years, the last 3 decades, the system, the economic policy in the economic system changed a lot from a welfare state to a neoliberal state. And now employees have not any guarantee to be at home. They can be easily fired. And also the outsourcing was going very high. However, fortunately, the last 2 years, our political system changed, and then we are coming back to the welfare state. And the government is giving to the unemployed at least the basic allowance just to survive, not enough, but just to survive. And this is ameliorating our problems. But let me tell you, the formal employment has suffered a lot during this pandemic. You know, it's around the 14% of unemployment in the last 3-4 months, you know, and the workers, the employees have not any protection from the employers, because of the labor laws that are enforced or were enforced on. But now things are changing a little bit, and hope it can change. However, we are at the very middle of the peak, at the very, very peak of the pandemic. So we don't know exactly what are going to be the results, but we are concerned really. But for example, organizations like ours, the University of Guadalajara, has not only provided us with all the benefits, salaries, wages, friendship benefits, but also has given us some extra allowances, which is good. And also the University of Guadalajara has asked us, the people who earn a little bit more like researchers, to give, to contribute for the poor people who has been disemployed already. So unemployed people have getting some benefits, not only from government, but also from some organizations like ours. For example, I think that myself, as a researcher, I am in a very good position, not only because I have a salary from the university, but also because I have the salary from the National Council for Science and Technology of Mexico, which is good. In that sense, I have the duty, let's say, it's voluntary, but I can donate something for the poor people who have not the benefits for that, you know? Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir. That was really very informative and very, we had got the insight for that. We have one more question from Edward Wuzinger from University of Japan, that sustainability is the big question. Are we going to able to redesign or rethink our education models effectively and transfer those models to business and public administration? What is your take on that?
What is the, sorry, I couldn't understand very well. Can you repeat, please?
Yeah, I will repeat, and you can also see in the question answer tab if you want to see it, that sustainability is the big question. Are we going to able to redesign or rethink the education model effectively and transfer those model to business and public administration? What is your take on that?
Great questions. Yes, we are being training right now with the State University of Arizona, which has a very good hybrid program, model of education. And that means that we are being trained trained. Actually, every day we are connected 2 hours receiving our teachings and how to move from the traditional model towards the new hybrid model, which is will solve our problems. As I said, fortunately, the University of Guadalajara has been working, not from recently, but more than 10 years ago with the virtual programs. So it has been very easily to move from the traditional model of education to the presential, only presential model of education towards right now, we are working only in a virtual model. But let's say that in the future, we cannot continue only with the presential model or the virtual model. We need to hybrid, to mix both of them, probably have most of our courses and classes from home, teaching our students to their places, and then meeting probably once every 2 weeks, just in a presential type of structure, when the pandemic allows us. Fortunately, well, I'm not sure if it's fortunately or not, but because we are at the peak of pandemics and they are talking about open already this system, which is a contradiction. However, if this is possible, then the university, we can teach our courses, and we are already doing that. Our model is moving. Let's put it this way. We are moving already from the traditional to the presential mode of education towards, we move by necessity towards the virtual model. But now we are thinking the possibilities to implement a hybrid model, a mixture of a virtual and presential model in the near future. Maybe this could answer a little bit. And we are training. The university, to give you a context, the University of Guadalajara has 280,000 students spread all over the state of Jalisco with 20 campuses. Each campus is let's say very large and also concentrated in thematic. Oh, this is one change that is we are visioning for the future. To move from the thematic campus, like for example, my campus is University Center for Economic and Managerial Sciences. So we're mixing other topics, for example, exactly medium cities, because to adapt to these new changes. And besides that, there are 280,000 students spread all over the state. It's a network of universities, let's put it in that way, like University of California or University of Texas. Let's say also that that we are thinking in changing this networking, moving from the thematic to more transdisciplinary campus, I would say, more interdisciplinary, more multidisciplinary, and more in order to attend the demand. And let me say, University of Guadalajara ranks 4th in Mexican universities. We rank 4th. So we are in a very good standing. We have moved in the last 10 years from the 8th place to the 4th place. So we are really, we are getting a very good standard ranking. And this is measured by the National Council for Science and Technology and the National System of Researchers of Mexico and other foreign organizations.
Thank you so much, sir. That was really very informative. Your whole session was really very informative. That gave a very, deep insight on the topic that is changing world culture. We are now changing to the new normal things, and we are going digital more and more, and physical as less as possible. So it was a wonderful session, sir. And the knowledge that you have shared is certainly, it is very enlightening. And I think we had 200 plus participants with us, those who were listening to you throughout the session. And it was very amazing. And we are very grateful to you that you came for this session and you enlightened us. Now, at last, I request our group director, Dr. Puneet Kumar Dwivedi ji, to propose word of thanks to Dr. Josh.
I really want to thanks.
Thank you, ma'am.
All of you.
It's a really proud moment after listening
the
to you.
Organization.
And there are around 200 plus participants from different parts of the country and even from some different countries also. So they all are enlightened with your wonderful speech and this wonderful topic, work culture, changing time, which is actually a need of our to discuss, and you discuss so well. So with your vast experience and knowledge and your expertise in the field, again, we are honored to have you here, and we are feeling blessed with your honorable presence in this wonderful webinar, international webinar by modern group of institutions, that is Modern Talk, #Modern Talk. I thank you on behalf of Modern Group of Institution for sparing your valuable time. You spare this wonderful valuable time with all the participants and with our organization. We are extremely thanking you, and we are very much thankful for you for joining us today for this international webinar on work culture in changing times. I again, on behalf of my organization, Modern Group of Institution, on behalf of our chairman, Sri Anil Kharia, and vice chairman, Sri Shantanu Kharia, I express vote of thanks, very sincere thanks to you for joining this webinar. Thank you so much, sir. We are really honored to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you very much, all of you. Please, my best regards to all of you, all the participants, and to the modern organizations, modern group of institutions, to all of you who were able to do it. Good afternoon, afternoon for you. Here still is dark, very dark.
Yes, we can see that.
It's yeah, very so
so
thank you very much.
Apologize for that, sir, that we woke you so early, and we apologize for that. Next time onwards, we will keep it in the afternoon, so that you can, if on your comfortable time, we can plan it up.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Bye.
Once
Bye.
again, thank you so much, sir.
God may bless you. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. I thank you all the participants too for joining us. We also have one more webinar lined up at 6 o'clock by Dr. Omkar Raiji, STPI Government of India, on changing trends in IT sector. So please stay tuned to our webinars. And you have got the feedback link in the chat box, as well as you will receive it from as soon as the host will end the meeting, you will get the feedback form. Most of you are inquiring about the certificate. The certificate is basically system generated. Once you enter into the webinar, your entry is registered, you will definitely get the e-certificate. You will get it in please check your spam folder, your inbox, as well as your promotion folder for the certificates. You will definitely get it because it is system generated. So please check it up. And if you have not yet received, or due to any technical issue, if you are not receiving it, please write an email on info@moderninstitutes.in. So once again, thank you so much. Thank you all the participants for joining us. Thank you.